Welcome again, and my name is Harsha, and I've been with Brahma Kumaris for almost 20 years now. I've been practicing meditation for uh, around 20 plus years, because before coming to Brahma Kumaris, I tried transcendental meditation and some of the other practices, a little bit of Vipassana and things like that. So how many of you are here for the first time? How many of you are first for Brahma Kumaris? Welcome. How many of you have seen the video which is just going right now, just before the talk? Okay. So some of you are here physically. So, okay, coming back to today's topic, I just want to check with you. So we will keep it a little interactive. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay. So what comes to your mind when you heard about this topic? How to go with the flow? What comes to your mind when you hear going with the flow? Do you want to go with the flow, or do you want to stand out? How many of you say you want to go with the flow? Wow. How many of you want to say, no, I want to stand out? See, there is a good division, yeah? So why do you think you don't want to go with the flow?
फ्लो में जाएंगे तो एक डेस्टिनेशन नहीं मिलेगा, कहाँ जाके लटक जाएंगे वो पता नहीं चलेगा.
Well, that's a good thing, right? You want to just you don't want to be a bead. You don't want to get flooded, right? But at the same time, if you want to get to a destination, and if there is a flow, for example, if you are surfing, if you are a surfer, if you get a nice wave, if you can catch a nice wave, you are not creating the wave, somebody else is creating the wave, you are just riding the wave. You get to a destination, you get to wherever you want to. It all depends on how do you set your sail. The wind can flow in any direction it wants to, right? But you want some flow. If there is no wind, you can't go anywhere. Do you see the value of having a flow? Right? And especially we as a social beings, we want to be in the community for a reason. There is a reason why we are social beings. We want to stay in touch, right? So try to digest this point, because everything has a paradox. You say something that is exactly opposite to that, right? You say you want to go with the flow. You say, no, I don't want to be a bead mentality. Bead ja raha hai to follow it, right? You don't want to be part of the bead. You want to stand out because you are unique. You have something unique to offer to the world, right? You want to stand out, right? And at the same time, you don't want to be lonely and secluded and stay in Himalayas forever, right? So on that note, I wanted to share with you some of the flows that we generally are aware of, right? So as a human beings, we are conscious, right? We think, we have our ideas, we have our beliefs, and we have our values. We do value something. You stick up to some values. For something you say like, it's good to have, but well, everyone has their own way to think. But something you say like, no means no. You stick up to it, right? Each one have their own core values, and there are some core things you say like, yeah, chalta hai, jugaad. Right? You have to do something, right? You have to compromise, and you have to get some things you cannot compromise, right? So So today's topic, because this being a meditation space, we definitely bring you something deeper. I have my own mantra. My mantra is, you only know when you experience. You will only know when you experience. You can hear some talks, you can listen to some nice TED talks, and then you can say that, wow, that is a nice idea. And you can even agree with that. This is a possible solution, this is doable, right? This makes sense, right? But the reality is, unless you experience for yourself, you don't know fully what it is. And especially when you are talking about things which are not tangible, especially to do with the things which are not tangible, right? I'll give you an example. Thoughts. Did you ever step back and say like, what am I thinking? Show of hands. Did you ever observe and say like, oh, I shouldn't have thought about that? Yeah? I wish I had thought about it then. Right? Is thought a tangible thing? Is it real? Yeah? It is real. Real does not mean physical. We can change the definition of truth and reality to a deeper level, right? It is real. If you don't think, thoughts actually manifest into an action, words, interaction, expressions, experiences. All of these things are manifested with a thought. Thought is the starting point. You agree, right? And who is generating that thought? Yeah? You know that, right? It is not physical, but it means a lot to you because that is driving your quality of your life. Yeah? Okay, let's take one level deeper. Yeah? How many of you work out? How many of you go for a workout? Like just little walk? Yeah? Little walk. Yeah? Workout. Yeah? So how do you feel when you get a good workout? You go for a treadmill or biking, swimming, whatever you do. Yeah? How do you feel after a good workout? Do you feel better? Yeah? Do you feel better? So one of the things is, when the energy is flowing, you feel alive, right? There is a saying, especially in medical field, that flow, motion is life. Stagnance is a strong word, is death. Motion is life, stagnance is death. Yeah? So as the energy is moving through your body, you're fully alive, you feel lively, right? If you're just sitting in one corner and then there's not much happening, after a while your back hurts, and then if for some bad reason, if you have to stay in the bed for a couple of days or a week for some hospital reasons, so then you'll even get the bed sores. You know what a bed sore is? It hurts, you can't even stand after a while. So motion is life. So there is that, at the physical level, the motion is the physical energy, right? The prana, whatever they call, right? Your breath. If your breath, especially they start with breath, right? And when you feel that, there is a difference. Yeah? And if you go to the next level, if your thinking is stuck, if there is no flow of clean thoughts, right? Anyone ever got stuck in a cyclical thoughts? You say like, why did he do that? And then you go, I say like, I don't like this, I don't like this. And within few minutes, the same question come back, like, why did you do that? You're stuck with a person or a situation or some event, and you're spinning your head, going on and on and on and on and on. Show of hands, how many of you had this experience? How do you feel after being stuck? Huh? Frustrated is one thing. Next. Irritated is other thing. Yeah. Miserable. Yeah. So if you actually observe, yeah. Helpless is other thing. Yeah. Unstable. Stability goes away. Right. That is the main thing. You lose your mental energy. How many of you felt mentally exhausted? Mentally exhausted. And you know this is your favorite topic, and then you might be watching Shivani Ben or something, or some nice TED Talks, or you have your own favorite speaker, you keep listening to that, especially when you're mentally exhausted. Even if you want to listen to your favorite person, you can't focus. Yeah? You feel that? Yeah? So that is when your mind gets stagnant. And that's where your creativity starts dying down. You don't feel like going further, and you feel stuck, right? So you need some jump start. Did you ever had this problem? Your car gets stalled and your battery dies, and you need somebody to do a jump start. Yeah. So and if you actually see which is easy to manage. Is it easy to manage the physical aspect of it, or is it easy to manage the thoughts aspect of it? Physical, right? So what makes it easy to manage your physical, not so about your mind? What aspect of it makes it? Why is it hard to manage your mind compared to managing your body? Is it? Is it? Is it? How many of you are here in tech or industry? Good number of Hyderabadis in. Right? So if you actually see, you got to think, you got to focus. India, you got good studies and education. If you don't consciously think through, you won't get good grades or get through the stuff. We know how to. If not, we wouldn't be India, right? So we know, but the thing is, it is subtle. Subtle. Have you ever tried to walk on a soapy surface? Yeah. You ever try to walk on a slippery surface, like there is a soap water on, and then you try to walk? So what happens? It slips. It slips. Yeah? You got to be cautious. You have to pay a little more attention, right? And one of the things about that is the traction is less. Traction is less. If you want to increase your traction, you have to put your whole weight on it, get a full grip on it, then only you take a next step. You can't just run. You can't sprint, right? You just fall on your face if you sprint, right? It is something like that working with your mind, because it is a little slippery. You won't get enough traction. Follow, right? Now let's go one layer down. Yeah? How many of you ever felt emotionally exhausted? Okay, let me give you an example. Do you have, any one of you have a friend who's going through a tough time, and then he or she is your best friend and you want to help them out, and every time that person comes to you, they have a very sobbing, heavy story, and every time they walk away, you feel drained, How many of you have that kind of people around? Don't be ashamed, it's within the family. You can show of hand. Yeah? Okay. How many times you yourself get stuck emotionally? Well, we are all happy people here. How many of you feel moody and you don't know why you are feeling the way you are feeling? Anyone? Either everyone here is a happy, blissful people, or I'm not saying it properly, right? So the key here is, if you actually see, do you ever have a strong thoughts? Every time you think about that person or a situation, you can't stop thinking, but you don't want to think. The intensity of your thoughts are so harsh to some extent. And you don't want to think about it, but you can't stop thinking about it. Every thought rips you off of significant energy. You ever have any problem? So if you actually see, why do we think the way we think? What drives you the way you think? What drives you the way you think? What information? Senses is outside. Now, for example, you think about किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया कि ... and it's like, how dare you say that? And then that is going on in your head, like how everything else is blanked out. That one word just sticks out. How dare you say that? So like, what did I say? And the guy who said doesn't even remember what he said. But that one word sticks out. It's like, how dare you say that? Right? Ever happen? And every time you think about, you said this, the whole emotion erupts with it. Right? So the intensity of the thoughts, why we think the way we think. Your thoughts are not your problems. If your head is spinning, your mind is stuck in a cyclical circle, your problem is not your mind. Mind is just a messenger. Mind is just the messenger of what is going underneath it. What's underneath it is your emotions. If you really got hurt by whatever incident, whatever somebody said, the hurt is trying to put out in the form of thoughts. The thoughts don't kill the messenger. You ever try to suppress the thoughts in the name of negative thoughts? Ever tried that? I don't want to think about it anymore. It won't work. Because it is just the messenger. It is not your problem. Messenger will not stop until they deliver the message. So if you shut the doors, they bang on the doors. That's what thoughts are trying to do. If you're really upset by something, the intensity of the thoughts gets increased. Your intensity increases. And every time you think about it, it makes it heavy. And then you try to suppress it in the name of Raj Yoga or something you want to say, right? If you try to suppress something really intense, you have to put more energy than what it is putting it out. You know what happens when you suppress something which is really intense? How many of you play with fireworks? Diwali, right? You know Sutli ka bomb, that green thing? Yeah, you ever exploded? Once I did this thing, like I was really scared of it. It was really hard, that green thing, and then it explodes intensely. Once I said like, what the heck is this? And then I took off all the sutli around it, like the rope around the field, and then put it on a paper and then put it on the fire. What do you think has happened? Just a flash of, as if you are matching a matchstick. So where did this much explosion came from? It is the same fuel with sutli and without sutli. Do you see that, right? It is the same energy which is released, same fuel which is getting burnt. The intensity with which the bomb explodes is how much you compact it, how much you hold it back, that much it explodes. Do you agree? And it works the same way inside, right? It could be a small thing. Every time you tell a story around it, you're roping it through. Every time you revisit and not sort it out, you're adding more emotion into that and making it a little bigger and deeper. Bigger and deeper, right? So what happens? Every time you see that person, what you feel now after cyclical thinking or a period of time will be much more intense than what you saw him when the real incident actually happened, because you built so much emotion against the person for whatever reason, right? So now it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not just that person, like anyone related to that person, if you think about that person comes into your head. You follow, right? So emotions are much more stronger than your thoughts. If you want to look for ROI, return on your investment, where would you like to invest? Would you like to invest in your emotions, or would you like to invest in your thoughts? There is so much you can do with thoughts. There is so much you can do with your thoughts. And definitely you can use some thoughts, but where is your end goal? Where do you want to shift?
What's on the basis for emotions?
Not actually. First you get upset and then you tell a story around it. First you experience and then you tell a story on it. Thoughts are just the wrapper, but the real thing is something else inside. Yeah? Yeah, memory is a story with emotion together is a memory, right? Oh, I remember I had a very nice vacation. That is a whole story, sequence of events. And what I experienced in that sequence of events is an emotion, right? And just to tell, is story powerful or is what's behind the story more powerful? Right? So if you actually see the story of life is sequence of events. The essence of life is feelings. The essence of life is feelings, not events. You could have achieved million projects, you have completed 10 different projects or hundreds of projects. You could have delivered so many things. But at the end of the day, what really matters? What really matters? How you experience, what was your journey? Your whole life is not just sequence of events, but what you experience in each moment of your life. And that defines the quality of your life. So the essence of life is feelings. Follow, right? So unless I pay more attention to what really matters to me at the end of the day, we are missing the point, right? Our attention and whole of our thought, our effort, our energy is all going and getting invested in a wrong place. You follow, right? And that's why whenever I do youth activities or career programs for young adults, so the fun topic that always comes to in the discussion is, how should I pick my career? Should I be a psychologist or should I be a pharmacist, or what should I become? Right? How do I know what should I become? And especially in US, They jump left and right to their career tracks. One day they want to be a photographer, next day they become a surgeon. And that's what happened to my cousin. She went, oh, I want to be a psychologist. She did 2 years of that, and initially she jumped back to IT. And then in India, it doesn't happen that quickly. And all of a sudden, she wants to be a legal attorney, right? She wants to get into the legal field. So they want to jump around. Like, what guides you, what you want to do? So we always say, follow your passion. Passion is not, if I do this, if I have these skills, this is the dollar value, this is the need of it. Most of the time, that's what we do. So that is good to some extent because you got to survive, you got to pay your bills. It is good to some extent, but that is not what going to make you happy. If you're not happy with what you're doing, it won't go far, and you won't deliver an effective thing, right? So again, coming back to this topic of, am I in the flow or am I getting stuck in the flow? So if you bring your attention more to a deeper flows that is happening, right? The flow of your emotions. The essence of life is feelings. The essence of feelings is communication. What am I communicating? What am I expressing? What am I experiencing? What is the energy that is flowing? This is a deeper flow. Do you agree? If the energy that is flowing in a relationship is not pleasant, that relationship is going to strain today or tomorrow. Do you agree? Yeah. So then everything else is counseling. Everything else is counseling. How much you compromise, how much you not compromise, and all of this stuff. So today I want to bring to your attention on the flows which matters to us in a long term, right? And there are deeper other flows, healthy awareness and spiritual health, but they are a little more deeper than this. Let's stay with upper 2 layers, right? So there is this study that has been done a big time in the healthcare industry, like why so many people are getting sick, right? One of the biggest thing that we keep hearing is depression, and it is very costly on medical bills too, and it does not make you feel any better, right? Antidepressants are really horrible, right? So what they do is, like, they are doing this, what's going on, right? Can we do something to cut down these bills? So what they did is, like, what is going on in the brain, right? So every time there is a part of our brain which is called mirror neurons, right? And that is helping us it helps us to empathize with others, right? In other words, when you listen to somebody's story, you can create that story in your mind and you can feel what they feel. Follow it? And this is at the physiological level. At the physical level, we are not talking about spiritual concepts yet, right? At the physiological level, the brain is hardwired to feel what others feel. And very interestingly, there is a difference. You can see with this physical eyes, or you can see on the screen of your mind. When you think about that, you can see on the screen of your mind. The effect on your body is exactly same. Can you digest that? Seeing is doing. If you see something, it's as good as doing, because your physical chemistry is literally transforming as if you really did it. Follow, right? Seeing is doing. It's that powerful. So every thought you think, you're painting a picture on the screen of your mind. Every time you're thinking about some incident, you are reliving that incident again and again. And there is no difference in what you're feeling when it really happened and what you're feeling now. Follow, right? So one of the main things is you don't want to beat yourself up, especially when you're already hurt. Do you really want to beat yourself, especially when you're already hurt? You better get some help to pull yourself out. So one of the things is when you recognize that what you're doing to yourself by re-triggering the same emotion again and again, if I'm not doing anything that is helping me to get out of that whirlpool, the storm that is getting stuck in that hurricane, you once you start stirring up your emotions, it goes on and on. So longer it stays, deeper it goes. Yeah, when there is a storm, when it starts spinning, it starts slow and then it starts building up the momentum and it goes deeper. It increases the intensity and it goes deeper. Emotions are no different. You don't want to get stuck in that. It's like a quicksand. Once you get in, it slips. You kick, you sink. You don't kick, you sink. Either way, you sink. Only way, you know how the technique to get out of a quicksand? Huh? Stay stable, you sink. Huh? You stay still. One of the things that you Google go to YouTube and search, how do you get out of the quicksand? So what you do is, you increase your surface area. It means like if you are standing, you are vertically sinking. You got to stretch out and spread out. Right? So that is the way you can start floating up, and then you slowly start crawling slowly. If you try to fight the force, you're only going to sink faster. And that's how the nature works, right? So, but unless your attention is not on the deeper layer, the deeper current of emotion, unless you're not aware of it, you are not going to do anything about it. Your attention is on one layer above, which is your story. You did this. You follow, right? If your attention is more on you did this, you said that, and that is what you're stuck with, the damage is getting deeper behind the screen. You follow, right? So does it mean that you let anyone do anything to you? Because I always bring controversy. Does it mean you allow anything to be done to you? Anyone can say anything and get away with it? Yeah? Is it a valid question? But there is a dilemma. If I stay thinking about it, I'm getting worse, thing is getting worse. If I don't do about it, I'm just being ignorant or I don't know, ... What should I do? In Brahma Kumaris, this is what we say. Separate your head and heart. Separate your head and heart. You need to use your head where you have to use your head. You need to use your heart where you have to use your heart. Follow, right? But they are intertwined to some extent, and that is where the subtleties come into picture. So I just want to give a pause and then check in with you. Any thoughts, questions, comments so far on the flows and the depth of flows? There are different flows and the depths of flows. Yeah? Execution and observation. So there is a part of the brain which is called mirror neurons. It is like whatever you see, it tries to recreate in your mind as if it is happening to you. Right? For example, when you see somebody eating a jalebi, your mouth starts watering if you like jalebi. Yeah? Your mouth starts watering without you consciously doing anything. In other words, chemically something is changing inside. You know, as when you put a jalebi in your mouth, definitely it waters, it has to do something, right? So, but you're not eating it, right? Just imagine if you are thinking about it, even then your mouth starts watering. Follow, right? And that is what mirror neurons is trying to do. Got it? Oh, execution in this case, the monkey is eating it and monkey is seeing it. What part of the brain is getting activated? So when it is actually eating the monkey, and what part of the brain is getting activated when it really sees the banana? Is the same thing which gets activated. So physiologically you get that craving and then you get that pull to reproduce and do it again. Right? Your body starts giving you the signals. Right? And if you start listening to your body, what will happen? There is a problem. If you already have sugar levels and then your mouth is watering, somebody is eating a nice gulab jamun, nice cutting it through, putting it, and then nice soft, and you have nicely created, oh, look at the texture, it's nice, soft, sweet, juicy. Your mouth starts watering. And if you listen to your body, your insulin levels goes down or your sugar levels go up and down. Yeah. So there are some things that you want to tap in, some things you want to use your head and then step back, right? But knowing what is actually happening is a big part of the solution. 50% of your solution is understanding what is going on. Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Why are these thoughts so intense? So now that you understand, your thoughts are not your problems. You don't have to change your thoughts. What do you have to change instead? You want to do something so that you can change your feelings. Then intensity of your thoughts naturally slow down. Follow, right? So when we say positive, purposeful, what is the purpose here? What do we want in life? Everyone wants to be happy. Who does not want to be happy? Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to love. Why do you want to love? Why do you can't just stay loved? Because the energy has to flow. Only when you express, then only you get to experience. And that is the reason why we come into this world of action and world of change. Because this world of change creates this scenes where it triggers an feeling, and then that energy of love flows. And you don't have to block love in the name of I don't want to be dependent, right? You know, sometimes you get trapped in this thinking that, oh, okay, accepting love is like, oh, I'm getting dependent, I'm getting trapped. No, accept love and express love. Let the energy flow. Don't get stuck, right? Let the energy flow. But let it be not based on limited. And that is where Raj Yoga comes into picture. How can we make it? Let's go to the next topic. This is the traps that we build over a period of time. So these ego traps are, over a period of time, whatever we have experienced, in the limited sense, we create a whole web of them, right? What we feel is associated with the incident, with the people, with the place, with the story, And the whole story is what we identify ourselves with, right? Ego as such is not a wrong thing. Ego is nothing but having a sense of self. I am something. There is nothing wrong with having a sense of self. Is there anything wrong? You achieved something nice, what's wrong with that? What's wrong in acknowledging that, yeah, I did it, accept the achievement, and then feel good about it? What's wrong with that? Right? Having a sense of self is not a problem. Having a sense of self which is created based on something which is not in your hand is a problem. If you create a sense of self that makes you feel good when you can achieve something. I do triathlons, and I'm part of a triathlon club, and then they do Ironmans, right? Ironman is 120 kilometers, 120 miles biking. They swim for 2.5 miles swim, and then they run for whole marathon, 26 miles. And I'm part of a club, and I see a lot of people, a lot of my friends there, they are really elderly people, 60 plus, and they're still doing the triathlon, and their body can't take it anymore. And doctor says that if you go for another run, I'm not going to treat you anymore. He has everything, whole body is full of metal. There is a metal rod in his leg, and he's still doing the Ironmans. Not just for walk or something, whole Ironman, which is like a really intense thing, right? So, but when I come across in our trainings, when I talk to him, he feels really bad. He feels that, oh, I'm not me anymore. I'm not myself anymore. Why? His sense of self is based on what he feels when he does achieve some XYZ. Follow, right? So if you are just stuck with things like that, which is not reproducible, which is not in your control, body fades off, right? Then there is a problem. So it is the same thing with relationship. It's the same thing with the vacations. It's the same thing with anything that we do at the physical level, right? So we create a whole series of experiences, a whole series of memories based on our physical interaction, and we create a sense of happiness, a sense of love, a sense of comfort, a sense of peace and comfort, a sense of fulfillment in these physical experiences. And based on that, we create a whole sense of self. And we say that I am not me anymore if I am not able to do this, or if I am not able to experience these things. And in order to experience that sense of happiness, we always go back to this web. This web is connected back to the action, to the story. We want to repeat the story. In other words, we are reliving our past. The past is what is driving your present. So in other words, you are stuck. It's a stale energy. It's a stale energy to some extent. So there is no rejuvenation, there is no liveliness, there is no sense of adventure, there is no surprise, right? So that is why, so we can try some of the techniques that we do in meditation is, we want to go beyond this web. You want to go beyond the web, you want to build the traction to something subtle and deeper. There is a whole sense of your true self which is nothing to do with the web. Follow, right? So when I get in touch with something deeper, something subtle, you tap into the undercurrents that will take you to one place to all the way to the other place, right? So I'll give you an example. There is this migration birds. Did anyone heard about migration birds? Right? So they fly all the way across the ocean, right? It flies all the way thousands of miles across the ocean. They just keep swimming, flying and flying and flying for months together, go to the other side, lay their eggs and come back. And the birds who are just born, they know their way back thousands of miles apart, oceans apart literally. How do they do that? How do they do that? Did you ever thought, isn't that surprising? Isn't that amazing? They're just born. Mom left it there and then mom went back. The newborn baby knows 6,000 miles over the ocean to the exact same place, exact to that latitude and longitude, the same pond and the same tree where her mom is sitting. How do they do that? It's not imagination, it is not a fairy tale. It happens every year. Can you guess? And we as a human beings are much more evolved, has a much more evolved consciousness than those beings. And that is what I want to bring your attention. We are much more powerful than what we think. We are not tapping into those currents. That is the problem. And that is what Raj Yoga is always talking about. In Raj Yoga, when we say, you are this conscious being, you, the soul, the spirit, this living energy, life energy, this conscious energy, are much more powerful than you can ever imagine, than you, the material consciousness, can ever imagine. And the way to tap into that potential of the spirit is to get deeper, go into the subtle, go deeper. So the way, the layers that we go deeper is this layer of physical, the layer of mind, thinking, and the layer of feeling. And beneath that is your true presence. Beneath that is your true presence. Follow, right? Subtle is powerful. Subtle is powerful. Bigger is not bigger. Smaller is bigger. If you can split a tiny atom, hydrogen bomb is much more powerful than uranium. It is 238 atoms, electrons in it, right? Hydrogen bomb, which is like one electron, one proton, when you split it, the amount of energy that releases can destroy the whole nation. That much energy it is there. And that is the subtlety at the physical level. When you can take your consciousness at a deeper level, the intensity of the energy that you radiate is much more immense. And that is when in Brahma Kumaris, when we are talking about vibrations, when we are talking about the energy, when we are talking about this whole practice of Sakash, what we call, is extending that love and light to the others, happens at that level. And this is the way to solve the current day problem of depression. You can't work depression by just giving medication. You can't just give counseling to solve your problem of depression. You have to go deeper. You have to use tap into some other energy and lift the spirit from bottom up. You can't come from outside in anymore. We cross that line of no return. As a community, you can see that it is growing more and more. And that is a need of the hour. And the way, and that is the technique that I want to bring your attention today, is subtle is powerful. Subtle is not just powerful, it is fulfilling. That subtle love is what we are looking for and seeking for. It is empowering, it is uplifting, and that's what you are made of. Follow, right? So when you set for a meditation, set your meditation to experience the subtle, to go into the deep, right? So let's try a quick meditation. So what I want you to do is be as natural as you can. What we want to do is we want to feel our way into this meditation. You don't want to think through this process. It is not a thinking process. You even want to turn off this thinking machine altogether. You want to feel your way into this space. So wherever you're sitting, make yourself very comfortable. Feel the ground beneath your feet. And gently pull your shoulders back. And if you can come to the edge of the chair, I'll show you how to. It's a very simple practice. You just come to the edge of the chair and you can feel the ground beneath your feet and roll your shoulders next to your hip. You don't have to push so back. You can see that your shoulders are aligned to your hips. By default, your arch comes to life, and by default, your lungs open up. Yeah. If you feel comfortable, feel free to close your eyes or keep your eyes open. You can keep the lights as is. Make yourself very comfortable. And now gently focus on your breath. Try to feel your breath flowing through your nostril. Just stay with your nostril. Just feel that cool, soothing energy. And just allow that soothing experience around your nostril to slowly flow through your throat. Feel that energy filling your lungs. Feel the energy. Feel this fresh oxygen surrounding your heart. Relax. More you relax, more you absorb. More you relax, more you allow this flow of healing energy. And now feel your heartbeat. Take your time, no hurry. Feel your heartbeat. With each heartbeat, this healing energy is radiating. Feel it radiating into your shoulders, into your arms. Now rest your arms on your legs and turn your palms upward towards the ceiling. Now feel the weight of your arms on your legs. Now feel the weight of your arms on your legs. Let go of the weight. And now feel the sensations around your wrist. Feel the sensations of the soothing energy pulsing through your wrist. Stay with the subtle. and feel the energy in your palms. Feel the tingling sensations in the tips of your fingers. Feel the energy. And just allow this healing energy to flow into different parts of your body, into your legs. Feel the sensations, feel the energy around your shins, around your ankles. Feel that energy flowing into this earth with each breath. Feel this fresh wave of calmness washing through your body, flowing into this earth. And each breath, like a fountain, feel this cool, soothing fountain of oxygen flowing into your brain. Feel that soothing energy reaching top of your scalp. This calm, pleasant energy washing over your scalp. Feel that space behind your forehead. Feel all the movements in your brain. No resistance. Let the energy flow. No resistance. You may even feel the blood pulsing through your brain. Let it flow. Stay with the subtle feel. Feel the soothing energy healing your brain. Feel that space behind your forehead. Free your mind of any thoughts. No analysis, just experience. Relax your mind. Free your mind. Feel your mind. Relaxed mind. A spacious mind. And allow this sense of calmness to extend in your mind space. Let that sense of calmness extend. Further and further. Experience a peaceful mind. Stay with that experience. Relax your mind. Let that sense of pleasantness slowly seep into your heart. Let go. Let go of anything that you're holding in your heart. Let this sense of calmness, a soothing peace, a pleasant, healing energy to fill your heart. A peaceful mind, a relaxed heart. And allow this sense of lightness to grow in your heart. Let go. Take your own time, no rush. Hold your heart in this loving lightness. Feel the heart of an innocent child. Take your heart into that pure, loving space. Feel that untampered heart. Nothing else really matters. What matters is what you feel right now. Give enough time. Give enough attention. Give enough space for this pure presence to come alive. Let this experience fully absorb into your presence. Let your heart fully engage in this peaceful presence. Feeling lighter and lighter. Getting in touch with the core of your presence. Feel that pure lightness. Stay in the deep. Try to tap into that subtle energy. Try to tap into that subtle energy. You are light. Feel your presence. Feel your presence. Very pleasant, very peaceful, and very radiant. You're not only absorbed in peace, you're radiating peace. Let go. Let go of the body, let go of the story, let go of the emotions connected to the story. Stay absorbed in your presence. Make yourself very comfortable being at peace. Being at peace. Stay in this flow of time. Tap into that flow of peace flowing along with this time. Stay in that flow of peace. Stay Stay in the deep. Flow with that peace. Stay in this river of time. Let your presence stay in that deep, peaceful presence as you gently open your eyes. With your eyes open, feel the peace. Let your eyes not take you away from that sense of peace. Be in the peace. Be the peace. With your eyes open. Keep your mind free from any thoughts. No analysis. Keep your heart light. Being in that presence, now gently stand up without disturbing the peace, without disturbing that sense of peace. Let the attention not be drifted towards the body. Now gently lean towards your left leg and to your right leg without spilling peace. Let it not slip. Stay in this river. Let the body do what it needs to do. Let your head and heart, mind, and the soul stay in that space of peace. And now gently bring that sense of peace into your eyes. What you feel that feelings in your eyes. Make it very pleasant, very peaceful. And if you want, you can close your eyes, but let that sense of peace fill your eyes. And now gently turn to a person next to you, whoever is closer to you. Turn, you can walk, nothing hurting, and gently hold your sense of peace behind that eyes and let that sense of peace radiate. Let that sense of peace flow. And gently make an eye contact. Let that sense of peace flow. Let your sense of awareness, your self-awareness, stay with that peaceful self. You're just radiating this peace through your eyes. Let it flow, let it radiate. No rush. Nothing serious. You can smile. You can smile. Hold that pleasantness in your heart, in your awareness, and you can smile. And you can turn around to the other person. You can turn around to your back, meet other people with your eyes, but try to hold a sense of peace. And relax and let this calmness and pleasantness stay with you. Smile. Nothing wrong with smiling. Smiling makes the life energy flow. Smile. Okay, back to your chairs. And as you know, your awareness is not going to change because you're not going in and out of meditation. You don't want to go in and out of meditation. You want to stay in the deep and do whatever needs to be done. You want to stay with the deeper flows. Follow, right? So in other words, you want to stay in the present, means you're consciously tapping into that part of the soul or the spirit or your life energy which is nothing to do with your past story. When you say you are in presence, you are in touch with that deep, pure presence, not influenced by your past. Right? So this is some of the simple practices that you can do. We lost touch with our own presence for a long period of time because we always stayed on the surface. The turbulence is always on the surface, right? If the storm comes, the turbulence is more on the surface. The water gets choppy and then you get pushed around and stuff like that. If we can go little deeper, you get some stillness. You not only get some stillness as you go down, you can catch underwater currents. Like the migration birds, there are some unique turtles. They also do migration across ocean. They leave their babies somewhere in a beach, and it's a tiny beach. It's hardly 200 meters or 300 meters stretch of a beach, and they migrate all the way from Mexico to all the way to South America. The strongest current is along the Atlantic Oceans. Strong currents are along with that. They flow from Mexico all the way to South America, Chile, somewhere there. And it goes exactly to that beach. And that beach is not a big beach. It is like tiny 200 meters stretch. And how do they get there? They catch the underwater currents. They catch underwater currents, and that currents drive them through, right? You know about underwater currents, right? Like, that's for the next session. But so as you tap into that, and then within the ocean there are so many underwater currents. Some currents going some direction, some currents going some other direction. It's a chaos there. So if you want to guide, you need to have an inner GPS. GPS? Google Maps. So your inner GPS for those things is, the earth has a magnetic field around it. They tap into those magnetic field. They are not tapping into the currents that is flowing underneath the ocean. They tap into this magnetic field, which is more subtle than the stream of water which is flowing underneath the ocean. You follow, right? So in other words, do you want to go with flow? So then you'll be flooded with wherever that underwater currents get you to. But you want to tap into that which is reliable. Earth's magnetic field is much more stable and consistent over a period of generations. So they tap into that intelligence, that capability. So in meditation, what we do is we try to tap into that sense of peace which will never change. There is a sense of peace that we experience in this world of action and interaction. You go for a nice vacation, you have a good refreshing time. We don't tap into that sense of peace. We tap into the deeper currents, which is always there for us, right? So deeper you go, then it will connect you to the web of souls. And that is what in Raj Yoga, when we say, be conscious that who you really are as this subtle, pure, peaceful being, but connect to the other pure, peaceful self of the other person. Don't connect to their story. Don't connect to what they did or what they said. It's all changing. Try to connect to the other being. So when we say be soul, connect to the soul. And as a family is one big family of 800 crores or 8 billion souls. So then you'll never be alone, right? Another biggest thing in the world problem is loneliness. But population is increasing like anything, and still people are lonely. Lonely like hell, they say. In the hell is a place of depression, it is a lonely place. And you're surrounded by 8 billion people and you can't even relate to even one person in 8 billion people, right? So when we tap into these deeper currents, you can tap into 8 billion souls. And the mother of all souls, the supreme soul, right? And you may call it as God, divine, ocean of love, right? So unless you become conscious of your pure loving presence, you won't get access to that ocean of love. Okay? So hope you learned something by experiencing, not just as a concept. So more you use it, more it comes into an action. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm Shanti.
How to go with the flow. So you got the techniques? Yes. So you will try to practice in day-to-day life also.